ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय Namo Vishnu Padaya Russian translation? Got the loudspeakers on? Hey, loudspeaker?
Okay, good.
For the
Yes, sir.
hand mic. Thank you. We announced in the morning that we'd be here by 7 o'clock, at 7 till we'd have the question and answers. And we had our meeting, the Jayapataka Swami Charity Trust, scheduled from 5 till 7. But one of the senior trustees from the Madhav Maharaj, Gaudiya Math, Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Maharaj, who's 84 years old. He especially canceled other programs to come here for the meeting, but because he's a heart patient, they told him before he came he had to rest a little bit. So he rested and he came only at about 7:20 or about 6:45. But the meeting went on now till 8, so it was really beyond my control. Sorry. You all got your questions ready? We'll read a little section here from the part 4 of the Godram Kalpatari Inspection Report. Sri Namhat route is established at Sri Navadip Dham and Sri Surabhi Kunj, Sri Godram Kshetra, and its branches and sub-branches are spread throughout India. The employees are from time to time traveling from the main market to different places to see how the work of the Namhat is progressing, what the inspectors have seen up to now is here and revealed. So, report. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, just like Nityananda Prabhu, he established the Namhat at the headquarters at Surabhi Kunj in Godrum in Navadip Dham. And the different branches, that was the headquarters, so all were recognized by the headquarters, all the different branches. To oversee how the branches are doing, it was necessary to have some kind of visits by the inspectors. Here he calls the inspectors, sometimes he calls their senapatis. The idea is that if you have a Namhata or Bhakti Riksha, for every so many Namhatas there should be an inspector who sees what they're doing, who helps them, encourages them, helps to solve any problems. So this is the first-hand report from 100 and over 100 years ago, 406 and 522. So what's the difference? 116 years ago. That's about 1892. Christophe. This is 21st of Bhadra, now next translation. 21st of Bhadra 406 Chaitanya Abda, Sunday, the name, the Namahat sweeper, the market reporter, and other two Namahat workers visited the Sri Rampur Nagar Namhat in the district of Hooghly. Hooghly is one of the districts of West Bengal. There at now Mahaprabhu Mandir, traveling salesman Sri Yuddha Krishna Kishore Goswami had gathered an assembly of devoted Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. After a brief discussion on Bhakti and Varnashram, the traveling salesman Sri Yuddha Kalidas Saha, together with some devotees, sang in a sweet voice Lord Chaitanya Shikshastaka, published in the 4th Guti of the Bhakti Siddhanta Mala. The Namahat employees present at that place experienced extreme satisfaction to see the wonderful devotion for Sri Chaitanya of the assembled Brahmanas. Bhadra is in the rainy season. It's one of the months of the Bengali calendar. Maybe around August or September, like that. So he's reporting that he went there along with other devotees. They established a position of pure bhakti, and a varnashram is supposed to be developed following the Daiva Varnashram system. They sang Sri Shastaka, they did some kirtans and programs. Everybody was very cooperative and very enthusiastic. He published a Bengali translation of Lord Chaitanya's Sanskrit Shikshastaka in another publication called the Bhakti Siddhanta Mala, which is a collection of spiritual instructions. So they were, sometimes Brahmanas, caste Brahmanas are not so favorable, but here it showed that everyone was favorable, so it was a matter of appreciation of it. Ashar, Bhadra, Ashin, Kartik. These are the 4 months of the rainy season. So we all know Kartik month, Damodar month. The month before Kartik is Aswin. So, translation, the 5th of Aswin, Chaitanya Abda 406, Monday, the Namhat sweeper, assisted and flag bearer, arrived in the town of Gatal, Mayapur district. This is the far south district of Bengal, near to the Orissa border. Gatal is still there, it's still an existing city. The devotees escorted the Namhat employees with Sankirtan to the Hari Sabha. More than 1,000 devotees of the Namhat assembled and engaged in massive Sankirtana. The next day at sunrise, along with the devotees of Ramjivanpur, they performed blissful kirtan and inspected the activities of the Namhata in the Prapanashram of Sri Yuddha Kunja Bihari Paina. More than 1,000 devotees assembled, loudly chanting the name of Hari. Namhat commander for the area, Sri Jukta Uma Shiyukta Umacharan Vidyaratna, warmly welcome the sweeper Bhakti Vinod, his assistant Bhakti Bringa, the devotee Sitanath and the assembled Namhat devotees, employees. The sweeper Bhakti Vinod gave a lecture on the glories of the holy name. So here, it showed that even 108 years ago or so, when the inspectors, senior devotees came, they greeted them with a kirtan, took them in a procession. That night there was just extended kirtan. Next morning they did more Harinam. Good turnout. A Prapan ashram means an ashram of surrender. This is one of the names for the Namhata. Everyone was chanting the holy names. The Senapati of the area, the commander, Senapati, he welcomed Bhakti Vinod Thakur and his assistants. It was a very auspicious program. Bhakti Vinod Thakur gave a lecture on the glories of the holy name. How many would like to hear Bhakti Vinod Thakur's lecture? But how we can do it? No, I'm not Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Unfortunately, in those days there was no tape recorders, MP3 recorders. So we are not able to hear. But he was also a prolific writer, so you can read his writings. In those days there was so much problem from the sannyasis and the renounced people that they were not following the rules. That he was promoting that better to be a grihastha and practice Krishna consciousness. To some extent. Later Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was promoting more the sannyasis and brahmacharis in Gaudiya mats monasteries. And Prabhupada, his program was grihasthas and renounced devotees all work together. That whatever we agree, hey Thakur, bone Thakur, sadahari, bone Thakur, whether you're a grihastha, whether you're in the renounced order or vairagi order, everyone should chant Hare Krishna, so we all chant together. Here in Mayapur, the devotees, so every devotee can do all the services. Only thing is, grihasthas can only do business for money, for their own profit. Otherwise, some brahmacharis are also doing something, raising money for the temple, but they don't do it for their own profit. So it's kind of a synthesis of the Prabhupada made a synthesis of the previous acharyas. He continues at the same place. The captivating lecture and personally composed Vaishnava songs filled the assembled devotees with prema. Traveling salesman Sri Jutta Ramdas Babaji and Sri Jutta Adar Chandra Tarka Lankar satisfied the assembly with sweet lectures. The assembly dispersed 3 hours after darkness had fallen with loud chanting of Hari and pure Nama Kirtan.
Аудитория ответила на чудесную лекцию возгласа «Летари, которые прошли чудесный спектр».
So that's purport. So Babaji's, some renounced people were also working with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they were considered traveling salesmen. They're giving lectures. They 3 hours after darkness is about 9 p.m. So they didn't stay up too late. Don't get up from Mangalarti. You should follow in their footsteps. They didn't have loudspeakers and everything, but everybody, they were chanting and having wonderful kirtan. No more questions.
No more questions.
How to understand self-love in spiritual life? What is the difference between selfishness and self-love? Questions. This last chance. Give your questions. After this.
Anybody already has answered? Last. Okay, that's all.
What is the difference between selfishness and self-love? I often hear devotees judging and criticizing themselves, often as an attempt to appear humble. Are humbleness and self-love contradictory? Well, we read today in one of the verses that people who are killers of the soul, Atmagya or Atmahana, killers of the animals, Pashugna, they have to, they're actually doing a very detrimental activity for their spiritual progress. So we love ourselves. We know that if you kill yourself, means you're denying Krishna, you're envious of Krishna, you're envious of Krishna's devotees. And if you're self-love, you love yourself, you know your true self is Krishna. So we work for our own spiritual interest. Sometimes devotees humble themselves before the Lord, but even Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote in his letters, the most fallen, useless, worthless sweeper of the Namhat Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You don't want to write the most useful, expert, wonderful devotee. You're humble servant. So, but it can go too much sometimes. I remember one time I got a letter from a devotee. I am a worthless devotee, and my obeisances, everything about me is worthless. My obeisances are just like stool, and I offer my obeisances on your lotus feet. It sounded like he was putting a stool on my feet. So sometimes you have to think what you're saying and to be humble. It may come out sounding like something else. Please accept my stool-like worthless obeisances. You may be worthless, but your obeisances should be your sincere offering not school. I can't surrender to devotees by heart. It's very guilty for me. How can I surrender to devotees by heart? Bhakti Mane Lord Chaitanya, he thought that we deal with devotees in different categories, like someone not very strict, not following nice example, but they chant Hare Krishna. We respect them in our heart. We're polite to them. But we don't intimately associate, and we don't also want to become lax in our practices. Then, next level are those who are initiated strict. So we call them as Prabhu, maybe Mataji and Prabhu, whatever the politically correct thing is. And we bow down to them. Then someone who is actually, we see as fully surrendered to Krishna, who's able to eradicate our doubts by his preaching, who's able to inspire many people to become devotees, then we can surrender to that devotee. So we should from our heart respect all the devotees. The ones we surrender to are ones that we believe are surrendered to Krishna. Hare Krishna, I want to know how Gauranga Mahaprabhu's beauty is a weapon. A weapon is something that can defeat another person, right? Like you have tear gas, if someone's attacking you, you spray it in their eyes, then they can't attack anyone. So somebody's attacking you, if they're inimical to you, if they're inimical in this case to Krishna, then Krishna, by being so beautiful, they see, just by the beauty they get convinced. Anyone that beautiful must be good. So that way his beauty was something that stopped people being inimical, because it was the real feature of the Lord. He was just so beautiful. So it helped to eradicate their negative attitude and to believe him just because of his extreme beauty. I mean, in the modern world, do advertisers ever use beautiful women as a weapon to promote their products? You know, toilet brushes held by some beautiful woman, some new car and they're lying on top of it. Coca-Cola or some drink, you know. Sometimes they have some beautiful woman or handsome man promoting it. But they're also using as a way of winning over the people. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Jai! Please accept my respectful obeisances. Could you please clarify this point? Bhakti in Varnashram or Varnashram with Bhakti? What is Bhakti in Varnashram? Sounds like the same thing. Bhakti in Varnashram or Varnashram with Bhakti. What we want is a Bhakti-oriented Varnashram called Daiva Varnashram, which means that everybody, according to their nature, they serve Krishna in a particular way, but since they're serving Krishna, they're all considered to be first-class people. If one's Sarupa is in Vaikuntha, can it be changed into Sarupa and Golok Vrindavan? If one's Sarupa is on Goloka Vrindavan, in the mood of a servant as a grass For example, can it be changed into the mood of a friend? Technical questions here. We understand our sarupa means that which is our original identity, that with which we are satisfied. If we're satisfied to be like a Hanuman, assistant, serving Lord Ram, why we want to change to Goloka? We will stay in Ayodhya. Whatever we may, like if you read the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the Gopa Kumara, he went to all the planets, and when he was there he looked the part, but actually his sarupa was to be a cowherd boy with Krishna. So eventually he went through all the planets and got to Golok Vrindavan. But if his sarupa had been Narayana Sevak, then when he got to Narayan he would have been happy. He wouldn't want to go on further. But because his sarupa was Gopa Kumar, therefore he wasn't fully satisfied in all the other places until he finally reached Krishna. It says in the mood of a servant as a grass, but grass is also neutral, it's santaras. A servant is like the ruka or some active servant of the Lord. But if our sarupa is actually to be a friend of Krishna, then we'll be develop into that. What's our sarupa? Well, that is where we actually, it's our constitutional position. It says that we all approach Krishna with the mood of our servant. And then Krishna, he like grabs our chin and lifts it up. If he lifts it from his feet, servant, we look at the feet. If he lifts it up to the waist, then it means like friend. If he lifts it up to the chest, it's parental. If he lifts it up to the face, it's conjugal. So we approach as a servant, because that's common for all the rasas. Everybody serves Krishna. But then if you would serve him as a friend, and then, or as a parent, or as a lover or wife, that gets revealed later. What or how should we think or explain to ourselves when we come up to some Srimad Bhagavatam explanations, such as, for example, that planet Earth is floating on water when there are so many satellites and space shuttles in space and around our Earth planet, but we never heard anything about any water being attached to our planet. Thank you very much for the answer. There's someone's going to ask a question about a Bhagavatam sloka or something that we didn't just read. It's better if they quote the whole sloka where it allegedly says that. Because sometimes people ask a question, it didn't exactly say that. It didn't exactly say that. It said something else. But our solar system is described as different rings, different like oceans and islands. So Sadaputta Prabhu, he has one presentation what that means, that's actually the orbit of the different planets in relationship to the sun, or the sun's orbit in relation to everything in relation to the earth. That's his proposal. Then Nadir Maharaj has got a more traditional proposal. Different is being discussed. And actually, Prabhupada said the 5th canto is very complicated, and he wanted to even ask me. At some point in time, I have to try to understand everybody's presentation and figure this out and present it in our temple of Vedic Planetarium. So they're meeting they're meeting again in June, and this committee for the planets. So I wouldn't get too mental about the fifth canto. But there are different explanations and they all make sense. So I personally heard a lot from Sariputta. I was working with him. He says that the loops, they say that if you go heliocentric means everything's going around the sun. But when they send out a satellite or a shuttle, they have to go geocentric, earth-centric, because they want to come back to the earth. So everything is calculated in relation to the earth. So then, if your outer space is relative, which is which? So if you use that calculation, then it's the sun that's going around the earth. It's all relative. It doesn't make any difference. It just either way works. But then, since the other planets, in relation to the sun, they're going around the sun. So, as the sun is going around the earth, and those planets are making loops as they're going around the sun. So the loops have a width. And that width happens to be 0.5% different in the Bhagavatam measurement than what modern scientists say by their observation what the loops are. Those loops happen to match up with what's supposed to be an ocean of water, ocean of, so not that in outer space, they're literally oceans. There may be somewhere oceans. This is how Sariputta explains it. Now Dhanavir Maharaj, I don't know, he has some other. Like this, and trying to work out which, but scientifically what he's saying is very convincing for the modern scientists. And a lot of these explanations were given to a king who has no telescope, no way of knowing, just to give him some kind of like allegorical explanation. This is how the planets are related to each other. But it happens to be that the measurements are so exact as what measurements we have today, that scientifically it's very convincing. One time Prabhupada also was walking right here in the room. He looked up at the moon. He said, see how the moon is so brilliant, it's shining. But when they went up, allegedly went up there, that time there was question, did they go, not go? So they just came back with some black rock. So why some black rock is so shiny that it's shining the light from the moon back to us. So white and brilliant. And someone said, well, probably they say the moon is made out of green cheese. The Prabhupada was giving some practical points there. So it's very interesting that they say they went to the moon, but now they want to go again. But they say we're going to go again, but it'll take us another 10 years. But then the technology has gone so high in all the years, why it takes 10 more to go to the moon. I mean, it makes you think maybe it wasn't so easy. We're not the only one that doubted it. I read it when I was in Canada, French-Canadian magazine, and they said they showed that during that so-called moon landing, that the photo, he moved his hand like this. So they took the video and blew it up, and they found there was a mosquito, a fly there. So how there's a fly on the moon? Said this probably was all photographed in some desert that looked like moon somewhere in Arizona or some desert somewhere, and they touch it up with all the, you know, it's how he's going like this, why is he going like this? And they blew it up and found there was a fly there. And so many things like that. So we don't get into all that, but the only thing Prabhupada taught us is we don't believe everything they print in the newspaper. But we're trying to work out how to explain what the Bhagavatam says in such a way that the scientists can see that the Vedas are actually good science. So we should not take everything. So we have to understand the thing, and be very careful how we understand it. a major project for ISKCON here. For Mayapur, we had to have a definitive explanation of our planetary system. Tell us a little more about Shaligram Shila worship. Are they easy to worship? Does one have to be given one as a gift? Or one can go to the Himalayas and get me? Get what? A disciple here that really would love to worship Krishna through Shaligram form. Tissue? Can worship Shaligrams simply or elaborately. The idea is that Shaligram Shila worship is to simplify deity worship because you can do bathing and everything to the deities of the Shaligram. If you have big marble deities, you don't have to bathe them. Do they accept the bathing to the Shaligram? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj has got a lot of Shaligrams. You can ask him. One can do the simple bathing of the Shaligram, Idam Sthaniyam, Mula mantras and bathing with Tulsi water. Or one can do Panchagavya, Panchamrita, or you can decorate the Shaligram in how much you want to do. There's a saying in Bengali, Jato gur tato misti. As much sweetener as much molasses as you put into the, or sugar as you put into the sweet rice, that's how sweet it, that it gets more sweet. If you want to add more worship, you can do it. As far as, you don't have to get it as a gift like Govardhan Shila. But you should get authorization to worship deities from your Guru under normal circumstances, we are told. Dear Guru Maharaj, how shall one do with Dhamma-vasis who beg money? Is it okay to give money? I heard that Prabhupada sometimes gave money to beggars. Dharani Lakshmi Dasi. We prefer to give them prasadam so that they eat it. Sometimes beggars may use it for, in the West they use it for drinks. In India they may use it for chillums, marijuana or something. So for us, we'd rather give prasadam in the name of Krishna. Although sometimes, there was once a committee that came to Srila Prabhupada asking for a donation because they're doing some puja of somebody, I think Krishna, I don't remember right now, but in some nearby they do this temporary temples and do a puja. They wanted to, so then the secretary started saying, no, we can't, no problem, no, that's okay. Give them 10 rupees. Sometimes you're driving on the road in Bengal and 50 youth stop you and they say, we want a donation for Saraswati Puja or something. You can try to give them a book or prasadam, but if they insist on money, better give them 2 rupees instead. Alright, that's like just saving your skin. Say Tat Sat. You told about the give beggar, we prefer, I always give beggars prasadam. The beggars. You're told that when we go to Santipur we get Govinda Bhakti. What is the difference between Govinda and Krishna Bhakti? Since Krishna and Govinda are the names for the same person, why would there be any difference? The only reason I said Govinda Bhakti because those are the exact words that are used in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Iha hey, this teepee, this place, whoever takes prasad shall get Govinda pure bhakti.
Придет чистая бхакти Гаити.
Like Govinda bhakti means Krishna bhakti, same
Govinda
thing.
bhakti, чистая бхакти.
Although by bhakti one becomes free from previous karma, we see that in our whole lives it is actually very difficult to avoid being pushed by the modes of nature and escape our material destiny. So how can we actually transcend the influence of the modes and the consequent imposition of destiny to remain under the protection of Krishna's eternal potency? By Guru Sevananda Das. Not too much. Slow. Prabhupada didn't use destiny so much in this context. He'd rather use our nature. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, your nature is to be a warrior, so ultimately you're going to fight. He didn't use the word destiny, because destiny is like you don't have any choice. But Krishna told Arjuna, you have a choice, you can fight or not fight. But if you don't fight, your nature will compel you to fight. He used it like that. So, Mamchajo Vyabhicharena Bhakti Jogena Sevate Sagunat Samatitaitan Brahmabhuvaya Kalpate. Bhagavad Gita says by serving Krishna we can transcend the modes. Sometimes while our mind may come up with different ideas, we can say I don't want that, or ignore it, or push it out, or say I want something else. We can adapt ourselves. We pray to Krishna for his shelter, what we actually want in our devotional service. As we get stronger, someone nature, someone may be a grihastha, someone may be a brahmachari, someone may be a teacher, someone may be a manager. That's not a problem. Because whatever we do, we're going to do it for Krishna. The problem is if we're thinking to do something which is not Krishna conscious. We're trying to find the most solid position for ourselves where we can fight Maya more effectively. According to our particular body, mind. Got a few more questions here. Why the direct son of Srila Prabhupada is not just like his father, but just the opposite? Well, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he also said that if he was guaranteed that every one of his children would be a devotee, then he would also become a grihastha, have 100 kids. It's not guaranteed that every child will be a pure devotee. It's our free will. We try to give them the best chance. We try to encourage them. We try to make them inspire them, give them a good association. There's no 100% guarantee that every child will be a devotee. Even Lord Advaita Acharya, he had 6 children and 3 were devotees and 3 were more like caste Goswamis. He's Supreme Lord. Now, some of Prabhupada's children are very nice. They chant Hare Krishna, they come to the temple, they're respectful. One of them was seemed to be nice before, but then when Prabhupada left, he thought that he got greedy and thought he could get all the money. He claimed that ISKCON was his property, his inheritance. He didn't, so that Chaitanya Nitai. Yeah, we have, I told you I have 3 more questions. Sakshat Radhitvena. This means that the Guru has the Haritvena, the quality of Hari. Doesn't mean he's God, but he has the quality of God. All the Shastras say that he's respectable, just like Krishna is, because he's representing Krishna. Prabhupada said that he is the mercy incarnation of Krishna. I get easily annoyed when I have to deal with non-devotees. How can I cultivate a compassion mood and follow your example of compassion to all people? Any tips? Keep trying. Practice makes perfect. I used to be, I don't know, this is written in Russian. I think it's Russian. Kak. Starts off kak. What's the facade? 6 p.m. is the Gosti for Safari tomorrow.
Завтра вечером Вишкотоши ждет сафари. Всех на сафари, пожалуйста, в 6 часов вечера завтра приходите сюда на собрание. Явку всех участников сафари обязательно.
One more condition, how can we develop a personal relationship with Krishna? That's why we take initiation. To come to the spiritual platform. Initially, we just pray to God, give us our bread, give us a new house, give me a this, give me a that. We're just asking Him to give us material things because we're conditioned. So even then, there's some relationship, but it's not very spiritual. Then when we develop and we understand that service to the Lord is the perfection, we start to get a taste for serving the Lord. Then we pray to the Lord that I can serve you. And our prayers become more selfless. When we said when we get initiated, it's like a touchstone, it's like a magical transformation. That we get transferred into the spiritual nature of the Lord. Then we can pray to the Lord for His mercy, for spiritual things. Here's a Spanish question, I don't fully understand it. ¿Es cierto que si uno toma, por ejemplo, más Mahaprasadam o darshan del Guru, uno toma más misericordia de la que merece y así le roba a otra persona misericordia? The more you take Mahaprasadam from the Guru's hand, more mercy you get, especially if it's cake. And give me here. So by stealing from other people, you can be merciful and see that other people, it's not the quantity of Mahaprasad you eat, getting some Mahaprasad. We should be eager to get a little remnant. We shouldn't deprive others. Narad felt sad when he hadn't thought to give any prasadam to Shiva, but when he found some, he gave it to him. So we don't consider it stealing, but we don't want to be, we want to get some mercy ourselves. We want also, by giving the mercy, we'll get more mercy.
Просто приобщиться к этой святости. То есть наше получение милости не должно лежать в милости другого.
You found a red velvet bag? Anyone know it belongs to anyone?
Может, вы знаете, чем?
What's it got in it?
Что там такое? Скажи, если не догадаешься.
Huh? Huh? You have it. Who? You know anyone looking for it? We got it here.
Если знаете, кто-то ищет, хорошо.
You said no more questions, but the Chinese came up. This is not Chinese. ¿Cuál es su visión acerca del desarrollo del movimiento de Sankirtan, incluyendo en el mundo entero? What do you think about spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world? Go for it. Let's do it. Yeehaw. You want to read the question in Chinese? So a preacher easily falls down. So as the devotee has to become a first-class devotee, and then he can go to preach with the mood of a second-class devotee. It's not so easy for a preacher to fall down. But if they're careless or not sincere, they could fall down. So we should be careful. If we're preaching, if we're to be a first-class devotee and come down to second class and preach, we'll be a very powerful preacher. You can even convince people who are normally very difficult to convince. But one who is a second-class devotee can also, means a Madhyamadikari can also preach. But you should be respectful to the Vaishnavas. You should avoid the demons. Should be respect the Guru and Krishna, be friends with the devotees, be merciful on the innocent, and avoid the demoniac envious people. So if one is only a beginning devotee, then they have to also just preach to favorable people, give them a book or something, but don't, if you get meet an envious person and walk away. But mainly the preaching comes from the problems come from fall down, from carelessness. How to know one's position in the spiritual world, this is eventually revealed to you. Is it we have to reach the stage of rasa, then we can know our relationship with Krishna? Bring that in Dasi. When we get the position of prema, then it's fully revealed to us. Our rasa is our relationship with Krishna. As we are serving Krishna, gradually this rasa or this relationship is revealed. As I explained before. So they got 9 people on my darshan list who are leaving tomorrow morning. If there's anybody else that wants to speak to me that's leaving tomorrow morning, then put your name on the list. If you're going to be here tomorrow, I'm here tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow night, and I'll also have darshan during the daytime for individuals. I'll tell Ratnavali to coordinate with her.